I know they really eat a lot, but I think we are wasting feed. I've actually stumbled on a method that seems to save me a lot of feed and even give me a better result. That means instead of using 2 bags in 1 month, I can actually use just 1 bag in 1 month and even get a better result. How do I do that? This is cheating. Let's get started. I experimented with 2 flocks of turkeys. The first batch I fed them normally, and by normally what I mean is that when they were day old I fed them continuously. So from day old till they reach 1 month, 2 weeks, I gave them food all the time. They had the light on and they could eat all anytime they wanted. So they will eat when they feel satisfied, they will sleep, they will eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, just like you see. When they reached about 1 month, 2 weeks, I brought them out of where they were, the brooder house, and then kept them in cages. But for the second batch, you see, I had these 2 experiments. So for the second time, the second flock, this was what I did. I raised them continuously on feed, just like I did with the first one. But when they reached just 2 weeks, I put them on feed schedule, and I also turned off the light at night. Let me explain. From day old to they reach 2 weeks, I gave them food continuously, and when they reach 2 weeks, I give them food only during the day. When it was night, I simply turn off the light and then they will sleep. This was the magic. But you need to first understand how the growth of birds are before you can use this trick, and before you can use the trick successfully. If you just go by it, you might do it wrong, and that can affect you. So please pay attention. There are 2 main stages in the growth of birds. The first is called hyperplasia. Hyper what? Hyperplasia. Don't worry, you don't need to remember the name. What this simply means is that when the chicks are day old, they develop a number of cells. The cells that is inside them increase in number. That is what hyperplasia simply means. Hyperplasia actually occurs even at their egg stage. When they are egg, the hyperplasia starts to occur. It means that they get a number of cells, and the next stage of their growth is called hypertrophy. You don't need to remember that one also. The hypertrophy too is the stage where the cells that they develop in the hyperplasia stage begins to increase. That means if they had, assuming 5 number of cells during the hyperplasia stage, then in the hypertrophy stage, the 5 number of cells that they've gotten will now begin to increase in size. And that is where we begin to see that the chick is also becoming big. Or in other words, most poultry farmers will say they are in their grower stage. Very simple. You got that? Good. Let's continue. Now, if you are able to understand what goes into the hyperplasia and the hypertrophy, then you can use these methods carefully and in a way that would also adjust your feed for you to even get a better performance using very little feed. And that's basically the secret. So stay with me. When I fed my chicks from day old till 2 weeks, it gave them maximum chance of increasing their hyperplasia. That means they could increase in number of cells a lot. They had a lot of the number of cells. When I gave them the chance to rest at night, that also in a way improved the hyperplasia. So this is how it works. From day old till they reach 2 weeks old, you need to give them feed continuously. And beware, it's better to give them quality feed. So if you can see the feed I'm giving my chicks here, it is quality feed. It's not any feed that is not high in nutrient. This is very rich feed, and I must warn you that it's quite expensive too. So I give them this quality feed. It's called starter, broiler starter. The brand is Kujis. I'm not promoting Kujis, I'm just letting you know what I'm using. It's Kujis, and it's very good to start your chicks with. So I gave them this Kujis during their from day old until they reached 2 weeks old. When they reach 2 weeks old, I'll give them the kujis during the day, and at night I'll turn off the light. The brooder house is dark, it's a dark place, so without light they can't eat. So at night when I turn off the light, they can't eat, and then they will rest. And there is magic in resting. When during the day they get to move about and eat the feed, at night they also rest, and the feed is also being highly utilized. Think about it. When you eat and right after eating you run around, you're actually using the energy of the food to run around. But if right after eating you settle down and relax your body, then your body will use the feed. Instead of burning it, it would actually build your body. In other words, you can become obolo. Obolo simply means obese. That means you become fat. So if you want your chicks to become fat, using this method makes sense. It makes sense a lot. And that's not all. I even made a research on this, and here's what I found. I found that when you look at what I've highlighted, it says that this study provides evidence that longer rest periods promote greater increase in muscle strength and hypertrophy in young resistant trained men. This research was actually talking about people, but just like how human beings body can improve through rest, that's the same way chickens or poultry or birds in general body can also improve through rest. So imagine, instead of feeding your birds from day old to 2 weeks continuously on feed, this time you can actually cut the feed in half. You can minimize the feed from 2 weeks to 1 month 1 week. And I used to give them feed continuously from day old to 1 month 1 week, but now I can actually give them food from day old to 2 weeks, and then give them feed only during the day, and it would even give me a better performance. That's amazing. So from the understanding of these two growth periods of the chicken, it's crucial that from day old to 2 weeks you give them quality feed and as much of the feed as possible. That way they can develop the number of cells, a lot of that number of cells. In other words, they can really improve in hyperplasia, and then from there they can use rest and the feed to improve in the hypertrophy. That's just the secret, and this is excellent. This is actually one of the turkeys that I fed using the second experiment, those that I turned on the light when they were just 2 weeks. Look at it. Right now it is 1 month 1 week, and look at how big it is. It has become very unstable right now, so I'm putting it back in the cage. Some of the content we make requires a lot of timing and a lot of dedication, so simply clicking on the like button right beneath this video really goes a long way to help us. This method that I've showed you works from day old until they reach 3 months, so you can use this simple method from day old to 3 months. But when they reach 3 months, there is also a cool way to reduce the feed, and I'll be sharing that content too with you very soon. So make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out when I post that video. Like I said, this is cheating. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.